Mark 8 actually feels slow compared to this. It pins you back. Now, if you watched the last video, you'll know that we finally went stage 3 on the RS3. I opted for a TT 700 hybrid turbo and a custom tune from MRC in Banbury. As a result, the car made 497 PS on 99 run and 643 with the help of some octane booster. On the torque side of things, I've decided to have it capped around the 700 Nm mark as we are still on stock internals. Anyway, the plan for today is just to simply take this thing for a drive on some familiar country roads and just see what it's like in comparison to stage 2. In other news, there's also been some updates to the unit in the past week. I finally got that strange red kitchen floor weird situation at the back all remedied thanks to the guys at Garage Style. I opted for their dark grey PVC flooring and it's completely transformed the place. Honestly, can't recommend these guys enough. The installation only took a couple of hours and it was all measured and cut to size, so there's no odd gaps anywhere. Now back to the RS3. Before we go and have some fun, I just want to take a minute to thank our long-term channel sponsors, Car Vertical. Now for those of you who are unfamiliar, essentially what Car Vertical is, it's a website that allows you to obtain a full report on any car. All you've got to do is enter registration or the VIN and you will have seen that we used it when purchasing the R36 in the last video. Now as always, I do have an example report to show you how all of this works, so let's take a look at this one on this BMW M4. Now at the top here, essentially it's a snapshot of the vehicle you searched for. So in the case of this M4, there's no issues any outstanding finance, it's not got any mileage issues, but unfortunately it has got some accident damage in addition to also have been stolen previously as well. It says here that the theft occurred in the UK, but you can see here on the report that Car Vertical does check in a number of other countries. In regards to the damage, it occurred in February 2020 and it was a category S write-off, which means that structural damage. And actually, of course, my favorite part of the report, it shows us photos of the car at salvage auction just to give you an idea of the extent of what happened. So it looks like the front end took most of the impact. There's no real damage to the quarter panels, which is good. Interior looks pretty clean, 35,000 miles, not too high. Airbags went off, but most of the wheels managed to escape too much damage. Now even if the category status doesn't bother you and you went to view a vehicle like this that had been repaired, at least now you know which areas to inspect properly. Now, I have got a little incentive for you folks. If you go click the link in my description and then use the code TRH, what that'll do is it'll save you 10% off your next report. But as always, big thanks to Car Vertical for sponsoring today's video. Let's crack on with this RS3 drive. It's been ages since we've done a drive in one of these, especially this particular one. Now obviously a lot of you guys want to know draggy data and all of that good stuff. The weather has been pretty chaotic lately, so I haven't had a chance to do too many autobahn runs, but I did one and it was from around 96 kilometers an hour in the 590 PS map and it did a 6.3, which is kind of in spec. I imagine it's a 6.1 to 6.3 kind of car. It's a good second quicker than the Mark 8R, which did a 7.28, and that was on octane booster at around 536 PS. So yeah, it's a fast car for sure. Oh my god, I just realized I got my turn up ahead. I mean, the way I'll sort of start this off, I'll say it's way better than before, but there's so much character that's been added which stage 2 didn't have. That almost run out of puff at the top as well as this keeps building. Like, that's 4,000 RPM. We've still got another 3. And you can do the catch and rev thing. What an engine. Some people say comparing it to the Mark 8R, you just can't though. This engine's just in a different league that does that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, but let me show up here. It does make you work for the power a bit more because you got to chase that red line, right? But I prefer that. Oh, we got a nice bridge coming. Windows down. And the crazy thing is, this is the low boost map, 590. I've not played around with the octane booster one yet. That's got an extra 50 PS. I'm pretty sure that would be like a 5.7, 5.8 car, which is insanely quick. Bear in mind this is all stock engine. Now, the stock engine topic, I'll touch upon that now. It is ultimately a risk. MRC did say this before I went ahead with my plans. They're like, you do know it's a bit of a 50-50 thing. Some people have their stock engines go even on stage 2, and that's even with tuning being dialed in perfectly. So it's not always a case where, oh, something was done wrong. The rods ain't the strongest on these cars. Wherever inputs you give to it, it responds instantly. See? Gearbox is amazing. You may have noticed it now says M and then whatever gear it is and then S. That's part of the new TCU tune. It's exactly like an RAV10, that whole look. And obviously it does rev to 7800 now. It's interesting because a lot of the time when you're like a lower RPM, it's actually quieter than it was on the stock turbo. Like that isn't that loud, but it's when you ring out, it just gets cracking. It's definitely a very easy car to drive. It's not like you got a challenge behind it, but that is its good trait as well. If you want something sketchy, just get M car with slightly more, too much power. We have a Mark 7.5. Yeah, this is a lot quicker than stage 2. A lot quicker. And it's not even like you can just compare draggy numbers, because I've had a 6.66 out of a octane booster on stock turbo, which was around 570 PS, and you could say, oh, this is barely a bit quicker. It's not that. It's the way this revs so much higher now, and it keeps pulling like a freight train. It doesn't fall off at the top end. I think if you used to compare on an autobahn, obviously the 200 to 250 km/h times between both, this would just walk away, literally. Can you hear all this noise? You don't get that with the standard turbo. I didn't even think I'd get it with a hybrid. This is more than I thought I'd have. It's the sort of sound you associate with a big full frame. Granted, we don't have the manifold, so it doesn't sound completely insane. Obviously, when you have a big turbo, you have to have a custom manifold. That's what gives it that Group B sound. This is pretty good though. And this is with valves open, you gotta remember, so you can make it quieter. Do you think these Bentegas look like a big Mark 8R? That one was in a suspiciously close colour to lapis blue, and the spoiler looks exactly the same. Now, one thing I've noticed with this car, I've got 245 4018s on it, because these were on the Mark 8R, and obviously that couldn't accept a 265 tyre, which is what I had on these wheels initially, and this drives way better on 245s, I've got to say. Handling's lovely for such a basic setup. Brakes are still okay. Right, let's go for it. Can you imagine hearing that on the outside? It must sound like a rally stage's beginning. Oh, I really go out and drive this car properly anymore, right? Because I'm always just filming a video or going another place, but you know those days where you just take it out for a drive like today, you really appreciate it. What a machine, what a machine. And then you get to somewhere where you need to be quiet, get it back into comfort, and it's lovely. Look at that. Peaceful. Here's a little thing though, by the way, in terms of torque, right? I'm in third now, my foot's on the gas. It's having to drop down to second to get up this hill. That's a perfect example of what I mean by with the upgraded turbo, there's not much low down. You can have more, that's not the turbo's fault, it's just to keep the stock engine on the safe side, you need to move it all higher up rather than have it in the danger zone. Like this A-Class is in the middle of the road. But I'll happily take that trade-off. I'll happily take that trade-off. Now, as you may remember, we did also fit a upgraded dog bone from Unitronic. The car does feel a bit crisper. There's less delay when you get on the gas, right? As in, you don't feel the engine slopping around. There is a bit more cabin intrusion though, but that entirely depends on how you've torqued it up. So I've been playing around with a few different settings, and when I've got the most ideal one, I'll probably share it. But that is a different level of speed to stage 2. The Mark 8 actually feels slow compared to this. It pins you back. Right then folks, I think what we'll do, we'll end the video here. Hopefully that gave you a glimpse of what it's like to drive a TT700 on the stock engine on 99 RON with less than 700 Nm. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know. But thankfully, because of the good reception the turbo install and tuning video got, I probably will do more to this car. I can't say when because it's very capital intensive to go to the next level from here. But initially I was in two minds as what to do with this car, because I thought maybe a bunch of you folks want to see older stuff, but it seems there's enough demand, so we'll make a little plan. But yeah, as always, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for a lot more content to come, and check out my Instagram, it's @TRHamza_. But yeah, I'll see you in a few days time.